welcome to Canadian Herpetoculture Podcast. My name is Brandon Millisham.
And I'm Kiana Fox. What's up, everybody?
I hope everybody's ready to tune in and learn some stuff about some reptile shipping, which internationally and domestic. But recently, most of the shipping has been domestic only with all the COVID stuff going on. So we'll learn some stuff about that when Sam comes on.
We're having Sam from Reptile Express on, by the way.
Yeah. If you guys aren't familiar with him, he runs Reptile Express. He does all the shipping, and I've had nothing but great experiences with him. With all the shipping that I've done, I've shipped, I don't even know how many animals I've shipped anymore because they kind of just show up and I'm just like, oh, cool, another package. So, well,
I've shipped with Sam once, and it was awesome.
Yeah, like he'll be able to answer everybody's questions because we'll have some of that coming on too. And here's Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Not bad, yourself?
Good. How's the quarantine and new life treating you?
Good.
Same as usual for me.
Yeah, I recently got animals delivered to me on Thursday, so.
Oh yeah. Everything went well?
Well, yeah. There was just shipping from Edmonton to Calgary here, so it wasn't too bad. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned it was impulse buys. I think there's a lot of that going on right now.
Well, it was kind of like an impulse buy, but it was planned since last year because I knew the import was coming. But
yeah.
It was...
Came when you weren't really expecting it.
Yeah, that was kind of it. So, but I got the animals that I wanted to finish off my breeding projects. So they're all wild caught.
Yeah.
But, I'm experienced in treating wild caught animals and dealing with them because all my breeders that I have are wild caught animals for Madagascar species of hognoses. So
yeah,
somebody's got to start somewhere.
Oh, exactly, for sure, 100%. But yeah, what else is new over there? Yeah, Kiana, you received that Europe shipment of your beautiful gecko.
Yes, I got a pair of the Strophers Tainacata. Oh my god, I've been obsessed with those geckos since I opened that box. I'm staring at them every day. I love them. I
was actually packing your animal, and I'm just like, wow, these are gorgeous. Ashley, put me down for 2. I don't even want to breed them, but these are
gorgeous animals.
They're really interesting to watch because they're an active enough species that you can actually have them on display somewhat. I love them. I really do. And they're on the list for the new shipment. So yeah. I want to get some Tainacata and the other one that I can't say at all. Sparingus. I don't know. Something like that. They're gray and have a big darker gray strip on their back that looks kind of like a wavelength pattern.
Yeah.
And they have little tail spikes. I love them.
They're so tiny, though.
They are tiny, but
when I seen them at Kiana's place, I was like, I don't want to lose this or break this animal because they're just so small.
I would have been
cool. Super
pissed if you did either.
But even the Strophers are super rare in Canada right now.
Yeah, they are. That's why I'm really trying to get a breeding project going with them. I'd like to work with all of them eventually.
Yeah.
So slowly building up what I have, I'll definitely be getting probably 2 pairs on this shipment.
Beautiful.
Just trying to figure out funds because it wasn't... The order comes when you're not expecting it, right?
That's true. And the exchange rate right now, too, is kind of crazy.
Yeah, the exchange rate sucks.
Yeah.
We had some people interested in buying some of our shirts, but the exchange rate for the shirt was awesome for them because they were getting it for basically dirt cheap.
Yeah.
But then shipping killed it. Totally shipping.
Yeah, I know those shipping companies, right?
So how has shipping been affected with all this COVID stuff for you? Because I know you've had to quickly adapt to the changes kind of as they come day by day, minute by minute.
Yeah. So what happened was when all this went down in March was when, the government was taking it so seriously and proposing quarantine periods, closing down the borders, and stressful. That was very stressful because we had a very large U.S. import coming March 25th, and they were planning on closing it down. So I was watching the news, oh my God, 5 hours a day, and things were changing daily, like every few hours. So I had to really keep up on it. I did my due diligence, called Canada Customs, U.S. Customs, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and they all assured me that, cargo will not be affected. It was just like personal travel or stuff like that was affected. They still wanted money to exchange between the countries and trade and commerce to continue. So that was good news. We did our import, went down, and it went really smoothly, but there was some weird situations happening. Some border guards were in New York. We deal with New York port. They were getting tested positive with the virus. And our inspector, our wildlife inspector, was in the same room at the period that one of the guards was asymptomatic. So when she did my inspection, she was all like geared up in masks and gloves, and she kept her huge distance from me because she had just got that call 2 hours ago. So after that, I realized, New York is pretty crazy right now. I mean, they do have the highest infection rate in all of US and a ton of deaths, unfortunately. So for safety reasons, that was the last one I did. And until further notice, hopefully the infection rates will go down there. And I'm hoping around July, I'll do one because we do have CITES permits and I don't want them to expire. Yep. So I want to get those done with and other orders. So around July, hopefully, but we'll see. Things are changing. And then another thing we noticed was we thought we were going to have to wind stuff down. Business is going to get slow. People are not going to, place orders. But it was a total opposite. I mean, shipments went up 130%.
Wow.
Crazy busy. We are working around the clock until 2-3 in the morning. We're working around. There's a few of us. I got my IT guy updating the website. Ashley's helping with packing. It's just all hands on deck right now. It's really busy out there with the Canadian sellers being active and selling. And
I think that's so partial to no expos going on too right now. So everybody's just like, oh, I guess I have to ship. I can't go to the expo. So
100%.
That person I was expecting to see at the expos isn't going to be there. So I'm also just ship now.
Well, and I know that there's companies that never shipped before that now all of a sudden people are home, they're buying, and now these companies are like, oh, crap, what do I do? And they, get a crash course in shipping. And I know might get my iPods from. Strange Exotics just started shipping with you guys since all this COVID has started happening. And so, it's great that you're helping out the little guys like that. They're starting to grow and expand. So, as much as COVID sucks, I think it's kind of done something kind of cool for our hobby.
It's just changed the world. A lot of companies have updated their websites or put some cool features on there. I mean, it was stuff that was really needed in a lot of industries and companies. We even did a huge update this week to our site. There's a whole bunch of new features on there because we have so much volume coming from people that use Air Canada or WestJet, and they're not able to with Air Canada right now, or there's no expos. So we got all these excess clients coming to us. A lot of them have their own boxes and supplies, and they want to use their own stuff. So we said, okay, we don't want anybody to be monetarily affected by this. Yes, we'll cater to as many people as we want. So I got a hold of my IT person. He put it up on the site today, and you're able to use your own box now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we'll still, hold your hand through from start to finish and make it go as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, that's a feature. I ship a lot of animals, and sometimes I'm shipping animals out. So I already have boxes from previous shipping. So I got like a bunch of boxes sitting in the corner. I'm like, oh, I might need these later at some point.
I save all the boxes that I get that say like live harmless reptile on them. I keep them.
Yeah.
I've never shipped anything out myself, but you never know when I'll need it.
Yeah. Another reason for so many years, I think we've been, in operation for 9 years now, and we've been very, very strict about, clients just using our boxes because there's many reasons. I mean, they pass testing at carriers labs. They have very thick insulation. A lot of the American companies, they have half insulation, and that's just not, it's not going to do it for Canadian weather. It's way too thin. We have all the right stickers, and we provide packing instructions based on those boxes because we've done a lot of testing in 9 years. We know exactly how many heat packs will need to be used and in what positions in those boxes. But if the client is using their own boxes that we have no knowledge of or done any testing, well, we can't give you packing instructions. So we did allow this now to happen with you using your own boxes, but we do clearly mention that there would not be any packing instructions. You're basically on your own, just because we haven't done testing on them.
Yeah, and
which makes sense.
Yeah.
And also with you supplying the boxes and stuff, it's kind of a little bit more liability issues for you guys because you have control over the packaging versus somebody else using their stuff. So
yeah,
which makes a lot of sense to some people. They don't understand. They're like, well, it's just a box, but it might just be cardboard, but there's testing involved into some of these boxes. Like you mentioned, so. Yeah,
there's crush tests. There's so many tests that we send to the carriers, and they send it to the U.S. They did all these kind of tests on them, and they pass with flying colors. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just getting an account with the carrier. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes.
You see horror stories come out of the American groups. Someone shipped through USPS, and their box and animal was crushed and obliterated. It's like, yeah, duh.
Or somebody doesn't package an animal properly, like that one case of that snapping turtle eaten through box.
Boxes that they do down there. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have different standards down in the States for shipping because there are other shipping companies down there, but
no, it's exact same contract. They actually use in Canada. They use the same contract that American FedEx uses. It's the same, absolutely the same. It's just people don't follow it in the U.S. and sometimes the shipping companies down there are a little bit more lax than I am. I consider myself to be a little bit more strict and down. I want things to go right for the animals, right? And I don't want useless and big holes in boxes to be used or damaged boxes. No, I want them to ship properly and for the animal to arrive alive and good experience for everybody because the animals do come first. So I am more strict than other people, and some people, the majority of people like that, and some people want to use their own boxes and they can go with other services for sure.
I think
I'm more than content paying for the security.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like you might be shipping a super expensive animal and paying that little extra so you have a load specific box so it's not going to get crushed in shipping and all these other things. The animal's going to have a stable temperature when it is shipping, and people are using the right heat packs because that's also a big deal too is if you can control
cooking them with hand warmers.
Yeah, and those get super hot, like 130 degrees. So, and
they're the worst,
and kill the animal. So, you want a proper heat pack so the animal's going to survive shipping and all that kind of stuff. And you don't want them too warm either. So, at a kind of nice stable temperature. So, and
that's another thing a lot I get confused about is we're not trying to recreate the temps that these animals get in their cages. No, we're not going to do that. That's too risky. We don't want a ball python. Yeah, they want around 80, 90, but we don't want that temperature in that box. That's too little of a space. There could be a heat spike and very easily will go over 90, right? So we just want to be comfortable around 65, 75. Usually it's around 75, and that's good. But when people receive it, sometimes they're like, "Oh, why wasn't it 90?" Well, that's risky. We don't want that.
Yeah. And
when I got my box, it was what I would call lukewarm inside.
It's perfect.
I didn't measure it with a heat gun, but it was, I could feel the difference from outside the box to inside the box. And, it wasn't hot, it wasn't cold, it was tepid.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would stress out my geckos. I didn't think that they were going to be cold. And that was at the time, that was the most money I had spent on an animal. So I was like, I was so stressed out. I had complete faith in you and Ashley to get the animals to me safely. But I was just like, holy fuck, I've never shipped in my life, let alone when there's snow. So, but flawless. It was so easy. Easy peasy. I will never stress again. So,
yeah, no, you will. I assure you, you will stress again. I even stress
That's
you'll
true.
never get rid of that. I've shipped, oh my God, how many packages? And every time they're out there, I still track them like crazy. I want to know how they arrive. You'll never get past that.
yeah,
It's normal.
because I think I ended up posting a picture of them up before I messaged you, and you messaged me like 2 minutes after the picture went up. You're like, so you got them okay? I was like, yep, thank you. Sorry, my bad. They're good. They're
So
good.
cute.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was nice that you cared enough to like actually follow up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I track everything just
Yeah.
like they're my own, right? You know, that's why I take it so seriously when, you know, like, I don't know if you guys followed the post the other day. Here's my little rant for the day. I noticed that every one of your podcasts, there's a little
It's
bit of a
always a
rant
rant.
section. So there was a post yesterday in the Canadian dart frog community. There was a shipper that shipped some dart frogs, and 3 out of 10 of them didn't make it, right? So the buyer reached out to us. 99% of the time they reach out to us, they blame shipping, right? And I asked, you know, I'm very sorry to hear the 3 of them didn't make it. What was the ambient temperature of the box? Was it cold, cool, warm, hot? She said it was absolutely freezing. And I said, can you please check how many heat packs were used? And she said there was 1 heat pack used. And I said, well, we specifically instructed that seller to use 2 heat packs. Right at the top of the email in the packing instructions in very bold letters, we said it's going to be cold out. You will need 2 heat packs. And she continued just blaming us. No, you're supposed to be professional, and I want an apology. I want this and that. She made a post about it on the group, and she just was not getting it that we did our part. I specifically said you're going to need 2 heat packs. Why are you not blaming the seller that did not, read the instructions?
You're not the one that packs the box.
And I'm not the one that packs the box as well. On top of that, and then she changed her tune and said, "Well, I just want an apology from you." I said, "Listen, I apologize, but I also I take it very personally. I get very pissed when an animal dies. I want animals to arrive safe and sound. And when a seller can't..."
Nope.
You gotta fix your internet, Brandon.
I'm trying. Tell us it's not
attacking me. Yeah, and I try to keep my calm in my email. I take a few minutes so I don't, show my frustration that the seller, caused these deaths that could have been easily prevented just by reading. So yeah, I deal with that kind of stuff too. It's just people really need to read the instructions.
I just started my online podcasting course the other day, and I think I signed up for it 2 weeks before it started, so I got to read all the materials at the beginning about the course. And it says use a nickname in the chat, don't use your real name or give out personal details, internet safety stuff, right?
Yeah.
One of the first posts in the group chat, "Hi, my name is so-and-so, first and last name. I live in Calgary." And it's like, you read the first page of welcome to the class. And the instructors posted it 5 times to talk about personal information.
Unreal. I find reading, if somebody knows how to read, that's an asset and a turn on now these days, I think. They're capable of reading. Yeah. So it's just I get it. People are busy and they just want to, they want things done in 1 minute or quicker. But these are live animals. They do require your attention.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, as the shipper, what exactly is your role, start to finish? Because some people may think that you are responsible for packing up some of the animals, but realistically, some of these animals are sent from Alberta to BC. You ain't over here. You're not packing those animals up. You're on the other side.
A lot of people think those packages actually come to us from Alberta to Toronto, where we are, and to BC, and they think we are the middleman. We repack it. It doesn't. It goes straight from the shipper to the buyer in order to be there the next day.
That would prolong the shipping time.
Exactly.
Too. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to go to you within 3 hours and then go to BC in that short of a span. It just does not make sense.
Exactly. So what our role is, they contact us. We'll give them a quote that includes the proper materials, the shipping boxes, heat packs, and all that. We'll ship it to them. When they receive it, we'll set up a firm ship date. We'll send a driver to the door. And then the night before, we send them the detailed packing instructions. We do it the night before because the weather report's more accurate, because weather changes a lot day by day. And as long as they follow that, everything will go well. And 99% of the time, it goes amazing. Like we have very good success rates here. Yeah.
So
And that's go ahead.
What happens if a reptile gets misshipped, got missorted at the hub, something like that, and ends up somewhere random?
Yeah, that's super rare, but there is this one situation, and it still hasn't happened till this day, but it went from Alberta. You're not going to believe this. It went to Memphis, Tennessee, in the USA. How does that happen? 3 ball pythons, CITES animals, went to Memphis, Tennessee. And I do know that Memphis, Tennessee is the FedEx's world hub. It's their biggest facility. That's where everything goes to. But I mean, they definitely messed up there. So what we had to do, I mean, the shipper was super pissed, and they were blaming me, FedEx, everybody. But what we did is we just blocked that out, the customer complaints, and we just went at it. We called FedEx. We actually had to do, thank God, we're experienced with customs paperwork. We had to do customs paperwork on the spot in order to get these animals back that night. It wasn't even that bad of a delay. It was 2 to 3 days delay. That's not bad. And they were totally fine.
Not bad for being in the wrong country.
Yeah, exactly. We were right on it, and that's what helped a lot to get it back right away. Yeah.
And I think that's important too when something mishappens, something like that. But that's a really big deal.
You're more than willing to chase down the animal, and you have experience doing all the paperwork needed.
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes a big difference, especially for people who are new to shipping and whatnot, stuff like kind of eases their mind a little bit. And I know for most people it's probably like, what the fuck? But sometimes mistakes do happen, and it's sometimes out of your control because FedEx is the courier. You don't deliver these packages yourself. So
exactly. I even said, what the fuck? Like that was just strange as hell.
No doubt. We have
thank God that was one. Go ahead.
Go comment here. Why are you not? There we go.
There we go.
Do you? Mark said, do you ship anywhere in Canada, PO boxes, or just physical addresses? That's actually kind of a good question.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So we don't ship to PO boxes, but a lot of time PO boxes are also physical addresses. We'll definitely do that, but you need to drop the PO box on the address line because carriers don't ship there. And if you are way too rural, we will find a close enough hub or depot for you to pick up from. So.
Yeah, that should ease some people's minds because some people aren't always in the city or a small or a bigger town or whatever. Sometimes they're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So they're trying to get these animals, but they don't know how. So that should clear up some of that question for people.
Yeah, I mean, Canada's huge, right? Like it's a huge landmass, and there's not, FedEx can't service all those very rural locations. Usually, if you have two zeros in your postal code, you're rural, and you're an extra day in service. Except Ontario, it's usually next day. But we will find solutions for you as to what can be done. Sometimes it's airport service or pick up at a local hub. There is other options, and that's another thing we're launching in a couple of weeks. Is that we're going to enable 2-day shipping. And that's going to be at the end of this month when the overnight weather temperatures improve. We're going to activate it on the website. So if you have a 2-day shipment happening, you're actually going to be able to choose that. And we've been doing 2-day shipping off the record, off the website for 2 years. And it's been doing phenomenal. 100% live arrival rate because we wait until better weather and the animals just do perfectly fine.
My order was postponed because of weather for, I think, a month or so, and I had it in less than 48 hours. And it's, where are you guys? Toronto?
We're in Toronto. So December got really cold. We held off on yours, and it's usually around 20 hours you get the shipment. Yeah,
because it was less than 2 days, which was what I was expecting. And the FedEx guy just shows up at my door and it's like, give me the precious. I wasn't expecting him to be there that fast at all. And it was like, boom, there's a guy standing outside my kitchen. So, definitely doing it again. It's so easy, simple, no stress.
And that's the thing, right? Like Ashley, you dealt with Ashley on that. She handles the Europe part of it, and I do the US and Asia. And that's what we're here for, right? You just purchase the animals and we'll take care of the legwork and the paperwork and the shipping.
Yeah, and then I think you'd emailed me my shipping invoice or something like that, and I still had no idea how it works, so I just sent you a quick email. Hey, like, what's going to happen next? What do I have to do? And you just simply walked me through it in an email, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm overthinking this. So, just your expertise is really it comes across even through an email, which is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. I get it, because I've been in your spot. I was a first time shipper too, and it's very nerve wracking. So I get a lot of emails about that. If a shipment is delayed, oh my God, is he going to live? It's been 2 days, and yeah, it's going to live. Oh, that's another thing. Starting 2 years ago, we no longer give it the option for our client to decide to ship when the weather is really bad. We used to just warn them, hey, it's going to be cold out. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's up to you. Most often they decide to ship, and it was terrible results. So we no longer put that in as their choice. We just shut it down. We say it's too cold. We're postponing this. We're going to wait a week, and then we'll go from there. And usually it goes from -25, and the next week it goes to -5. So just wait a few days, and the success rate just jumps huge. So.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with us. I think we quoted shipping for February when it would open back up, and then we had some really good weather in January. So it was we're shipping out tomorrow. I was like, done, ready, okay.
Yeah. No, and at the same time they were shipping yours, we had another client in Saskatchewan, and let's be honest, Saskatchewan and Manitoba are absolutely cold temperatures in the winter. It's just, I don't know how anybody lives there, but kudos to you if you do. But it was a -40 degrees, and we had this one client that was so rude to us. Why are you not shipping these? It's been 3 weeks, it's been 4 weeks, and she just kept, her bugging me and Ashley about it. We paid for a service, we want it. I said, do you want us to ship?
Internet.
We're not going to. Ridiculous. We said we're taking care of animals, we're feeding it. Instead of thanking us, you're blaming us for not shipping right away. We ended up shipping when temperatures were perfect, and they arrived perfect.
Well, I think I even messaged Ashley just hey, just want to check in. And she's like, it's still cold, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. I think I even offered to send money for food at one point, because you guys were just taking care of my animals while we were waiting for shipping. But they're like, I thought that's what happened. I don't know. She's like, no. You don't need to send money for us to take care of it. It's
Ashley's amazing. She's got a full setup there, and she has all the food and the animals will want.
She was sending me pictures every once in a while. It was so easy to do. I didn't even mind how long it took, because what happens when you buy an Australian species in the middle of winter?
Duh. That's a problem too with some people, because hey, we live in Alberta, and it's -20 here, but in Ontario it's 10 degrees. So some people are like, oh, it's nice weather to ship, but it's not a nice temperature where you're delivering the product to the animal, I should say. Yeah. So some people just don't understand that. So it's
and that's a very good point. Actually, to be honest though, the seasons I hate shipping in are spring and fall, because of exactly what Brandon said. Ontario is 10 degrees, Vancouver's 20 degrees, and Alberta or Saskatchewan -15, 20. So last week I postponed a lot of those kind of shipments, because how do you pack something like that? When it gets to Alberta, those animals are going to need the 2 heat packs because it's -15. But when it's in BC at Cresta Gecko, 2 heat packs in 20 degrees weather, that's not gonna, so we postpone things until the weather in both areas close in on each other, and it's not such a different in the spectrum, right? So
because you don't want such a big temperature fluctuation, because all the temperature inside the box is going to change drastically.
Exactly.
So what is the situation as of this moment today for shipping? What can we do?
Okay, so right now Canada-wide is totally good to go. There's absolutely no reason to think it's going to get shut down. FedEx is an essential service, and so is UPS, and they are immune to any federal, municipal, or any of those restrictions. Because the country has to keep moving. People have to receive their products. So that's not going to be affected. FedEx is very reliable right now. on-time reliability. UPS has been affected, so we did put a notice up on our homepage of our website. Please don't use UPS for live animals right now. They do have delays. As for international, USA obviously shut down, and Asia and Europe. Asia is shut down only because Air Canada won't ship animals right now. Otherwise, Asia is good to receive and ship out of, but Air Canada currently doesn't. But I just heard from Ashley regarding Europe that they are starting to allow animal shipments again. So she's working on that right now. So Europe
the shipment that's stuck over there might be trickling in.
Yeah, so my chauffeurs are actually part of that too. So I'm excited to receive them. But yeah. So it's starting to hopefully get better. And again, I'm probably going to go down to the U.S., start it up again in July. So, people got to get their stuff.
Yep.
And when you do the U.S. imports, you personally drive down there and pick up those animals.
Yeah, 100%. That way, there's no middleman, no more hands involved. I go down, I do everything. I pick up the animals, I go through inspections, they all get checked over, submit the paperwork, bring them back to Toronto that same day, and local clients can pick up that same night, or they ship out for next day delivery. And I mean, amazing success rates.
I've been looking into doing an import of some morphs, but anytime I find a breeder I'm interested in, they're like, we're out for the season. Like,
we're in Canada, or
no, in the States. Tokay morphs in Canada, you're silly.
I know, right?
Very few. I had a granite and a patternless for a while, but I don't have them anymore. I got out of everything for a little while.
Yeah.
But so like I know there's some up here, but they're really few and far between. So if you want to build up like a breeding colony of a certain morph, like you're gonna have a really hard time up here.
Yeah.
So there's a couple breeders down in the States that I found. One has no experience doing sites paperwork, has no idea, so he's kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then it's like, that's who I want to get my stuff from. And then the other person who does have experience with the paperwork, he just doesn't have anything right now, but he's also a great breeder as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, what do? I was just talking to Ashley about it one day. She's like, Sam does all that, right? I was like, what? Like, I don't, like, the breeder doesn't have to like do all this complicated stuff. She's like, Sam does everything. I was like, oh
yeah. It's like with my Madagascar hatchling hognoses, some people in the States were interested in them. They're like, can you ship these to the States? I was like, well, these are non-CITES animals, but we can go through Reptile Express because they do shipments to the States every so often. So it's just super easy. They do all the paperwork that's needed for it. So everything just goes super smooth. It could take a little bit of time depending on what kind of animals you're looking for. Luckily, some of my animals are non-CITES currently, so it's just a little bit easier to ship. So it doesn't take as much time because with some of that CITES paperwork, it can take months. Which some people don't understand.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's a learning curve for a lot of people. Non-CITES, as you mentioned, it's super easy. There's no wait time to receive permits, and we actually offer U.S. shipping more than any other service out there. We're down there once or twice a month, and so it's very regular. Non-CITES can go definitely, except for this COVID situation right now.
Yeah.
But as for CITES, they've hired a lot of people in the U.S. In that office, and we're seeing permits being approved in 2 to 7 days. It's pretty crazy.
Wow. Oh, that's
it used to take 3 months. Yeah. It used to take 3 to 6 months, but it's a lot faster now. And this is before COVID and everything shutting down. I mean, it's been going on since last August, where they've been a lot quicker. So things are definitely improving.
Yeah, that's good to know because I remember before it was like, oh yeah, we're waiting for CITES permits. It's been 3 months, but we're not sure what's going on yet. So I guess we'll know when it gets approved. So,
So for the people that don't know, do you want to give a quick rundown of what CITES is and how it affects shipping? Sorry,
you said what CITES is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so CITES is a Convention of International Trade of Endangered Species. So old pythons, boas, dart frogs, monitors. Yeah, now the tokay gecko is on there. Red-eyed tree frogs. So, which one?
Some colorbreeds on there.
Very few. And so they would require a permit in order to cross our national borders. So what we do is we'll apply for that, and we have amazing templates set up. That's why they get approved so fast, is because we basically answer all the questions that agent needs in order to approve that permit. And then once that is in, that's the time that we can, set up a ship date for that animal to cross the border. Because if you don't have that permit and you cross the border with a CITES protected animal, iguana is another one. A lot of people cross over the border without a permit with iguanas. I mean, you're breaking the law huge there on an endangered species, So definitely don't do it.
So what happens if people don't have the proper permits and they're trying to get these animals across the borders?
And that's a good question. So once you bring it over to Canada, because you don't need to talk to the U.S. people at all when you come to Canada. So if the Canadian customs agent is smart enough, he'll know that, hey, this guy didn't get his 3-177 declaration stamped. He doesn't have a CITES permit stamped. And then what happens is it gets really serious really fast. They'll get in contact with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and they are getting a lot better at the laws now with wildlife. So they contact U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and if it's a CITES animal, there's going to be charges. There's going to be a court date. There's going to be a hefty fine. If it's a non-CITES animal, there's going to be a hefty fine. Not so much a court date, but and then it prohibits you from traveling across the border, and you go in the system, and every time you go across the border, you're in that system, and you'll go through inspections, right? Yeah. So it becomes tough.
So would this be considered smuggling at that point if you're 100%. Not doing it? Yeah, okay.
That is smuggling. So there's guns, drugs, and animals that they take very serious at the border.
Yeah, so make sure you're doing things properly and legally, because it's just not worth the risk. And
my old nail lady, she messages me one day. She's like, "Do you want a rhino rat?" I was like, "Of course I want a rhino rat." She's like, and I'm like, "How much?" She's like, $50. Comes with a corn snake too, and the enclosure is like, okay, sure. So like, she comes, drops them off. I give her the $50, and I was like, "How'd you get these?" Like, because last I knew they were illegal. And I didn't know they were legal when I said yes. But she's like, well, last time we went down to the States, we just like didn't declare it when we came back over the border. I was like, oh, this is an illegal animal. And then so I messaged Tyrone asking about it. He's like, oh yeah, they're illegal now. I'm like, oh, thank God.
You're safe.
Showing it off, and people are like, aren't those on the list? I was like, are they on the list?
Yeah. No, even a lot of people think non-CITES animals you can bring them across and without inspections, and because they're non-CITES, there's no penalty. Actually, that's so far from the truth, because there's a new Environment Canada officer. And he used to be a customs officer, and I call him the headhunter, because he's on a mission right now. He's going after, a few months ago, he was after crested gecko people. He would send officers to their door because there was an American seller that was just recommending his clients go across the border, bring animals back into Canada, and that's what he was recommending. And Environment Canada got a whiff of that news, and they took it very seriously. So all those animals that were brought over, they were here illegally, and they can be confiscated at any time. So even non-CITES stuff, they're taking seriously.
Well, I know someone was posting about illegally smuggling native wildlife across borders, and it got sent off to Fish and Wildlife. It was just a Facebook post, and it got sent off to Fish and Wildlife, and a full-blown investigation started happening. So, people take this stuff, joke. And then it like affects a lot of us other keepers that we don't want to do. Bad, we just want the animals that we love. That's it.
And the other thing is, when people are doing illegal things, it makes the people that are doing things legally, following the proper protocols, doing everything properly, going through you to get the proper paperwork, permits, and everything set up. Yeah, it makes us look bad, unfortunately. So
yeah, I mean, like 15, 20 years ago, there wasn't a service that did what we do, and I can understand people just wanted to bring him over because there really wasn't any means to bring him over. But now there's really no excuse to not do it properly. There's options available for animals to come over legally. A lot has changed in 20 years, and a lot has got a lot tougher since 20 years ago at the border too. It's much different than what it used to be.
No, absolutely. We got a question from Dustin. Why are knobtail geckos so tough to get up here from the U.S.?
Nephers.
Yeah, Nephers. That's a good question. We are able to. There's some ports in the U.S. that maybe 3 ports that are the strictest, and that would be California, Miami, and I believe Atlanta. They have very strict agents there, and they are not allowing those geckos to come because of the Lacey Act and those geckos being from Australia. But it's a very gray area, especially for non-CITES animals. We do have permission at our port to bring them in. So again, majority of the U.S. you're able to, but there are some ports. The agents just want to be tough.
So if I wanted to import some Stropherus from the States, would I face similar issues depending on the port used?
No,
because they're an Australian species as well.
Yeah, we're good to go. Yeah, through us, that's no problem.
Not that I've seen any, but I swear it's easier just to get them from Europe right now.
There was one seller in the U.S., but her prices were pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've been talking to Brandon about like what I would price babies at, and I'm pretty sure I have it locked in if I start producing extras or anything like that, because you don't want it to be unreasonable, but you also have to appreciate you're working with something that's extremely uncommon.
Yeah, and
at the same time.
And some people just don't understand how much time and effort you put into producing these animals before they go out to sell.
So true.
I don't want to sell these things for $20. Like, someone's gonna break it.
Yeah, and some of these species are hard to work with or hard to obtain. So whatever that price is set that way because somebody spent countless sleepless nights trying to get the hatchlings to eat because they're hard to establish.
Well, like you've had a hell of a time trying to establish your hatchlings as well.
Oh yeah, it was a nightmare. There were shit helicopters biting me and everything else but food. So, that was a nightmare, and I lost quite a few babies from some of my errors that I learned from. So hopefully, with my next batch, I don't lose anything, and hopefully, it goes a lot smoother. So then I can produce 2 to 3 clutches this year, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure.
That's a good question from Sean.
Go ahead.
What about emerald tree boas? They don't seem to be brought in much. A lot of those are wild too, aren't they? Instead of a lot of CBs.
Yeah, half and half. I mean, we've brought them in, no problem. We can definitely do that. There's just not much demand for them, I guess, up here. But it's definitely doable.
Okay. Mark's got a question. So if I'm clear, if I find an animal in the U.S. or Europe, I check with you to see if you can ship it to him?
Yes, please. Definitely check with us first. We'll run it into the system, make sure there's no restrictions on that species, and then we'll give you the green light that you can proceed and purchase that animal. We'll gather the information on that animal and the shipper as well as yourself. We'll draw the paperwork and get all set up. But definitely contact us first.
Yeah, Sam really makes everything nice and easy. Can't.
Another service you offer for people who aren't familiar with certain sellers because it might be the first time that they buy from them. I can't remember the name of that service.
Yeah, not a lot of people can. I even had trouble with it at first, but it's called escrow service. And we've done about $350,000 worth of animals through that service. So it's very beneficial to people that haven't, and there's a lot of QGG scams right now, tons, maybe twice a week right now, more than ever. And so what happens is if you're not familiar with a seller, you have never heard of them online or anything like that, you might be, not wanting to send the money. So what you do is you send us the value of the animals as well as the shipping. We'll send the supplies to the shipper. They'll ship it. If it arrives and everything is good, the species match, the quantities match, and all that, we'll release the funds to the seller at that time. So it really adds a peace of mind to the transaction. Yeah,
that actually makes a lot of sense too. So that way you build trust with that other person, and then there's less liability on the other end. So, and that way somebody doesn't get screwed out of however much that animal's worth, and that animal does not get shipped. Because that's been happening lots lately, it seems.
Yeah, I've seen that quite a bit recently.
Yeah, that's another good point. A lot of people are using us as part of their scam. Oh, don't worry, we're going to ship you this snake through Reptile Express. It's all set up, and then the day of delivery, the buyer gets a hold of us. Where's my animal? And the thing
I just
is,
saw that get posted.
yeah, very recently. And the thing with us is we've made it on our website in a way where everybody's going to get tracking emails, multiple tracking emails. As soon as the shipment is booked online, you're going to be aware of it. That's the way we've set it up. That
I think we got 3 or 4 emails from you.
Yeah, exactly. We send multiple, not just one. So that's a good way to know.
Awesome. Sean's got a question. Can you bring in animals from multiple breeders in the U.S. at once?
So if that's in regards to ETBs, which are CITES animals, if you have multiple American sellers, we have to do an application per American seller, unfortunately. So that would double your price there. And
okay, so that would apply to any CITES animal then?
Yeah, any CITES animal. But if it's non-CITES, yes, we can definitely do it. It's a lot easier, but we do charge an extra $60 on additional sellers because we do have to do extra paperwork and submit that paperwork to Fish and Wildlife.
What is the average price to, say, bring in one animal from the States? I know it's usually not cost effective. It's a little more cost effective to bring multiple in if you can, but...
Yeah, for non-CITES or CITES?
For both, actually.
Okay, for non-CITES, one animal is $125 in import fee. 2 animals...
Froze again.
And 3 to unlimited fee. And then what you add on to that is Canadian US shipping fees and 5% customs tax on the value of the animals. Yeah. And then for CITES animals, because the permit costs money and the inspection fee at the border is a lot more expensive for CITES animals, so you're looking for up to 2 animals. It's around 800 Canadian by the time everything is said and done. For 3 to unlimited is about 1,000 to 1,200 Canadian. And we take that in 2 payments. The first payment is 300 for sending the application in, and about a month after, we take the remainder.
Okay. So that's not too bad then for people who are bringing multiple animals and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
with this shipment with Northern Light Reptile Imports, it made way more sense for me to buy 4 animals than it did for me to get 2.
Yeah.
I think it actually ended up being pretty similar in the actual import fees. I think it's like $65 per gecko if I got 4, or $120 each if I got 2.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like that. But the price was like, I was like, oh well, it doesn't make sense to get 2 at all.
It really makes no sense to just get 1 animal unless it's a very expensive or super rare animal, because the more you buy, the more cost effective it's going to be, because we have to do that paperwork anyway. We can just add on more animals, the rate gets cheaper, and win-win for everybody, right?
Yeah. So if you are doing an order from Europe or the US, maybe try to do a group order with a couple of people so then everybody shaves a little bit of money on shipping too.
Exactly.
I'm jumping in with Terry for shipping.
Yeah, I noticed that. I heard that. Yeah.
I'm getting smarter about this. Well, I think she lives like 3 hours away from me. So, I have my best friend lives in the same town as her. So if my friend just has to pick him up, bring him down next time she comes down here, I can go up there, whatever. It's no big deal. Driving 3 hours to somewhere isn't something I'm afraid of.
Especially now with no traffic on the roads and cheap gas prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, a road trip. Yeah, she's in Stony Plain. Actually, Terry is going to be our Western distributor, 5-Star Serpents. So we're going to send her a huge load of supplies. And what it's going to do is it's going to shave down, because right now from Ontario to ship supplies to BC or Alberta, it takes 4 to 5 days. But having her as our distributor for Western Canada, it's going to shave down to next day to 2 days.
Oh, that'd be way better.
Yeah, so that's going to speed things up. And she's amazing. And I would love to work with her. She's very proficient and professional. So that's coming up too.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Terry. I've known her for a couple of years now, and she's always been a fantastic breeder. And I'm definitely glad she came back into the hobby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's a great asset for sure.
Except she can't find what I want yet. So
no one can find what you want.
I know. It's because I picked obscure species.
You even actually can't find it? She's a genius at this.
Yeah, I've asked her, and she was like, I'll try.
Wow, it must be super hard then.
Well, it's a Madagascar species. It's a Parastenophis bastilianus. It's not on our restricted list, so I can keep it here.
Okay.
But as far as I know, they're all wild caught. There's some people in the States a few years ago keeping them in like 2013, but I haven't heard anything since. Possibly they didn't survive because they're lizard eaters and they're probably hard to feed. So it's
Ashley says they're impossible.
It's not impossible. It's just it might take a lot of time before I'm able to get it.
Whatever, she finds what I want all the time. So.
There was one importer that recently did a Madagascar import, and he said he might be able to get them for fall, maybe, depending on what kind of season it is when they're able to go grab the animals from the wild. So
snake picking in the forest.
Apparently they're pretty big arboreal rear fang venomous snakes, so and there's no information on the venom either, so that's going to be interesting on its
I
own.
hope you get bit.
I hope not. I guess I'll find out what it does.
It'll be medical research. It'll be a science experiment. Get on my level.
In the hospital, I got bit by this snake that nobody knows anything about because it was over 10 years ago.
Well, you could be like when Sherry got bit by that coral snake, be stuck out in the jungle.
Yeah, be stuck in Thailand, and I got bit by this snake. You sure it's a coral snake? Can it not be a coral snake?
They weren't 100% what it was.
Yeah, they were doing king cobra research out in Thailand, doing all the tracking and stuff. And he went to go to the bathroom in the outhouse, and he went to reach down for something, and he got bit.
I think he was lifting the seat.
Yeah, and he found a coral snake. He put it in the container, and he goes up to his boss, and he's like, "Is this what we think it is? Because I hope not."
Because I just got bit.
Yeah, and his boss is like, "What?"
Was he okay after that, I guess?
Yeah. Luckily, there was nothing major. He was in the hospital for, I think, 2 days it was, and then he was released.
And he went right back to field herping, hunting king cobras.
Yeah, so he was pretty lucky. So
very lucky.
No reactions to any of the proteins in the venom or anything. So because there is no anti-venom for that species at this time. So because my cases, he said, were pretty low. He was the first person to get bit, so he's actually doing a write-up for that. It's going to be published about his experience and everything else with that. So, so that was,
and that's Sherry Bakari.
Yeah, he's a great herpetologist. He was telling us about the king cobras and how much they traveled in the wild. It's like over 2 kilometers a day. So that was pretty. Yeah, I was super surprised. So
that's great.
There's a documentary about it on Discovery or Disney Plus right now. I think it's The Kingdom of the Cobra or something like that. And it's not Sherry, but they're doing the exact same thing. They're tracking king cobras and stuff like that, watching their breeding habits, that kind of stuff. So having watched that documentary already, it was kind of nice that I knew somewhat what he was talking about during that interview.
Yeah, it was kind of ironic because I was watching the Discovery Channel, and like 2 days later, I'm not sure if it's the same documentary, but it was a very similar one because they were in India tracking them, so it wasn't.
I think that's the same documentary.
And it was crazy because there was guys like trying to get king cobras out of the water in this like well, and this guy's just jumping in there trying to get these king cobras. I was like, there's no way for you to get out. What are you doing?
Some people, they just love that thrill.
Yeah.
So. What are the rules with like venomous species out there? Because I know you can have them in like some areas, but they're like no out here. It's not even a consideration.
In Ontario, yeah, there's some municipalities, super rural locations you can.
Do you ever have to deal with that at all with Reptile Express?
No, we sometimes in the beginning we used to get asked a lot if we ship venomous, and we definitely can't, right? You can do it through airlines, but they got to be wooden boxes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's probably a lot of regulations for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any added regulations with like rear fang venomous snakes?
Like what, hognose and all that?
Yeah. Or is that just shipping as usual?
False water cobras and stuff like that.
No, we can even import them, export them domestically, all that. That's no problem.
Secrets of the King Cobra. Thank you, Sean.
There
That's
we
what the documentary is called. Not Kingdom of the Cobra. My bad.
So what got you into shipping and reptiles in general?
So what happened? Well, reptiles. I don't know if you know my history from 18, 20 years ago. Is I got into leopard geckos. I bought it at a pet store, and really good paying job at 19, 20 years old, and 12-hour shifts, and all my money would go into the urban geckos at the time. They were super expensive, but gorgeous animals, and that was always about quality, and they really were. And went to the expos and sold them. That was a lot of fun. I produced over 500 geckos in a few years, and made a lot of sales. And then I realized I really enjoyed shipping the animals more than I did, breeding them. I did the breeding thing. I have fun with it, but I kind of get bored easily, especially at that time, at that age. I constantly need a new.
I'm gonna light your internet on fire, Brandon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I really like the shipping end of it. Oh, lagging?
Yeah, it's freezing up again.
Okay. Better?
Yeah, I think we're good now. I hope.
Okay. So I realized I like shipping them more. One time I went to Air Canada and to ship these animals after working a 12-hour shift, and their only drop-off time for that flight was 3 a.m. So after working 12 hours, went to the airport, and I was just like, why? Like, this is nonsense. There's got to be a better way. And that was my aha moment. And I started looking at, the carriers and all that kind of stuff. And it was the August 2009 when I started contacting Purelator, FedEx, UPS, and they all right away turned me down, like totally. They wanted nothing to do with it. So I got rejected plenty of times that month. And then I decided to call up the smaller carriers. And we started talking with them, and they said, yeah, we'll take you on. We'll take this venture on. And we did, and our volume started to increase. This is around 2010. And then after about a year or so, with our volumes increasing, I went back to FedEx, and I said, are you still wanting to, reject us after these volumes? And they said, no, we're definitely going to take it serious now. Your volumes are healthy, and we'll work something out. And they had no idea how to even set it up. They wanted to, but they didn't even know how to approach it legally. So they contract and so they had to contact US. Is it still lag? Because it works on my end.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's lagging.
It's lagging there a little bit. I apologize to our audience for the lagging, but there's not much I can do about it. So that's what happened with FedEx. And the first year of FedEx in 2012, when we had the contract with them, they rejected us 3 times. I'd fight for it again. They'd cancel it again. And they canceled 3 times on us, and I had to go back to.
Why does it only do to the good parts?
I don't know. This is unfortunate.
It's weird that it's just acting up now.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's only on your screen, which is
Yeah.
that I notice anyway.
No, I'm only seeing it on Sam's.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing it on your guys's.
Oh,
So
that's
weird.
weird.
There it goes again.
Our bad, guys. Our
Yeah.
bad.
I'm going to have to give Telus the years again, because I already did that this morning. And they were supposed to fix it remotely, but
They didn't.
apparently not. We
So-
had a tech come the other day.
So these companies finally start accepting you. There's a couple you still have to keep fighting with. And then eventually everyone took you on.
Yeah, eventually the legal aspect that I brought up to them, they took very seriously, because I could have, approached this in a legal matter and I would have won. Because the excuses they were bringing up to cancel our contract were really nonsense. So after letting them know that I had grounds to sue them, they accepted it, and they left me alone after that moment the 3rd time. And they're happy. My rep calls me once a month. He loves the volumes that we're giving them, and he's happy that it's all going so smoothly. So it's really worked out for everybody.
That's awesome. I think it's an absolutely crucial service that we can have. And you've definitely found a way to make everything easy for the first timers, which is nice.
That's why the slogan's reptile shipping just got easier.
Yeah, and then you just simplified it even more yet again by accepting, all the boxes too, which is nice.
Yeah. So it's like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, absolutely. But between you and Ashley, you guys really are a one-stop shop. It's the two different companies, but obviously you guys work quite closely together.
Yeah. So
I get all my rare animals from her. You get them to my door. Like, I couldn't ask for a better duo, really.
I know she handles Europe so well. To be honest, I will never.
Oh, this is the longest time it's lagged.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there we go.
At least it doesn't freeze you with ugly faces. That's what would happen if I froze.
That's true. But yeah, no, we're a good teamwork here, Amir and Ashley. Very, very good.
Yeah. Shipping. I've shipped with you guys quite a few times because a lot of my animals are imports from wild caught populations, so they all end up going to Ontario because that's probably the main hub for Canada for imports, and then distributed to whoever's buying them from the importer or whoever's dealing with that order at the time.
Yeah.
So I've nothing but great experience with all my shipping.
Amazing.
What's the coolest animal you've shipped before?
And it's lagging.
It's lagging. Okay, sorry. Can you repeat yourself?
Yeah, it lagged hard there.
No, you asked me a question, Kiana.
Yeah. What's the coolest animal you've ever shipped?
Coolest animal? Oh my God, there's so many. Honestly, every time I live through all you guys, right? Vicariously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you ended up posting up a picture of my geckos when you were getting them sent off to me. So.
Yeah. What, of your geckos?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was mine that you posted a picture of.
Yeah, it was because I was just in awe of it. I mean, I placed an order right after that.
They're so mind-blowing looking, and I think they're the only ones that don't have the spiky tails, but they're the only ones that are that drastic looking. I think they remind me kind of tokay geckos, but just completely different colors.
It's true.
They have that whitish silvery base color, and then all the black spots covering them, and then those brilliant red eyes. Those eyes are hard to get over.
Yeah, that's
and
for
then
sure.
If you can really look at the eyes, I need to get a macro lens so I can take a picture of them, but they're crimson red with silver lines in them, and it's just
so cool.
They're oh my God. I can't get over
it. And they're
it.
so tiny too, right? They're adorable.
I know. Terry yesterday during our interview, she's like, "How big are they?" I'm like, "This big." They're finger huggers.
Oh yeah,
they look big in pictures, but they're not in reality.
After I got mine, I messaged Ashley. I was like, "Are these full grown?" She's like, "Yeah, it's an adult." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna break this." Have you ever seen the video of them doing their defensive thing in the wild?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, it's a 15-second clip of a Strophrus taenacata. They arch their tail up and shoot a sticky, smelly substance from it. And this thing just looks so angry, and it's shooting this web of...
I heard about it.
And there was actually some weird scientific study, and if you mix it with ammonia, you can make a really, really flammable substance with it. I don't know what those scientists are doing.
We were reading the article and they're just like, yeah, they were doing something and they found this out somehow, but it's on fire.
But yeah, I'll send you a link for the video.
Have you been sprayed yet?
No, mine are like so cool and chill. So, but with them being from Australia, they've been captive bred for like how long?
Yeah, exactly. So they're used
like
to
multi-generational captive bred, which is I think is what the difference is, because I don't know how handleable yours are, but mine don't try to get away from me when I try to grab them. They might like sidestep to the other side of the branch, but they don't actually try to like flee. Yeah. So I just I'll kind of poke with one hand until they hop onto my stick-shaped sausage finger, and then I just take them out, and they're like, "Oh, okay." The moving stick took us. And they're usually pretty good.
A link for the YouTube for that video if anybody wants to check it out.
Well,
thank you, cool. Ashley. It's a crazy video. You got to watch it.
Yeah, I will. I hope I don't get sprayed.
I highly doubt it. Like mine, once they're out and have like the big space, they're like explore, flee. Yeah. But oh yeah, that's awesome. I've actually posted the link. Yeah, just after watching that video, I was like, what do you have to do to this animal to piss it off that much? Because I'm used to mine being so docile and easy to work with, and that thing is mad.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to try another species of these guys, see if they're all that kind of tame and docile. Which would be fantastic. It makes them nice and easy to work with.
No, I'm glad you're saying that they're so, handleable, because I was asking Ashley, I want to hold them. Are they going to jump and all this?
They will jump.
Hear that.
They will absolutely.
But are they fast?
Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty quick.
Okay.
But I find, the hand cake trick works pretty good. Okay. So that's what I do. I was trying to put them on my big Yersinia to take pictures of them with that nice broadleaf background. No.
Yeah.
Too much movement for that. But you can take them out, but they're not going to just sit there and chill.
Okay.
But,
I won't take them out too much anyway.
Yeah. I don't handle mine very often. It's it's easier to take them out if they're on their stick, and I'll take the stick out.
Yeah.
I want to show them up. It's here you go.
Yeah, I've always been a gecko person for sure. I mean, I love snakes and everything, but geckos, they're just, their personality is awesome.
I was never really into geckos. I've always loved tokays. Tokays are my heart and soul. It's me and a gecko. But I was always I loved monitors. We had a Savannah for a really long time. My ex took them when we split. I had iguana. The ex took the cool stuff, all right? So, I always liked those big brain lizards. And then in the last little while, oh my God. Damn it. I feel like I'm turning into a reptile softie because I'm getting into geckos.
Oh, it doesn't mean you're a softie. I mean, snakes right now, there's some crazy colorations on them. I even want all of them. I want them all. But the colors that these breeders are coming up with, it's just insane. Even geckos right now, even leopard geckos and all that, things have changed a lot.
Oh yeah, I've seen Craig Stewart maritime geckos too, and a bunch of people. They have all these crazy leopard gecko or crested gecko morphs, and there's
black knight, super snow.
Yeah, I've seen Craig Stewart has these super orange leopard geckos, and they just look insane.
Yeah.
His tangerine ones are really nice. I always make fun of not leopard geckos, crested geckos, about as much as I make fun of ball pythons. I bought 3 crested geckos this year. So, who was it? Sydney posted some. Tree critters. That's what it is. That's what his page is. He posted some, and they were almost black with orange. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Tell me how much money this is. And he's like, I have 2. And I It's like, cool, I'm getting 2 geckos. I don't even like cresties, but the coloring on these animals was so interesting that like I really just want them because I want to see the colors of them. I will probably never ever breed crested geckos because I don't care enough. If I bred a crested gecko, it would probably be to feed the babies off as feeders. Sue me, everyone. I know I'm friends with a bunch of cresty breeders. I'm bad, but like realistically, I'm probably gonna steal some of my boyfriend's normal ball python babies and feed them to my king snake. You know,
I get ball pythons that are stillborns and stuff that don't live and feed them to my tegus for a varied diet because they have different nutritional content. So I also feed all the various wide other range of things to them too. So I personally like to feed a variety of things. And to some people, feeding ball pythons or cresties or whatever to an animal seems cruel because they like that animal. But the ones that don't make it, instead of putting it in the recycle bin or the green bin, burying out in the back, why not put that animal to a nutritional use? And it's going to benefit the other animal as well. So
for sure.
It's just another version of recycling.
That's true.
Well, and like, do we really want to pump out a bunch more $20 normal ball pythons?
Yeah, because those animals might not sell, so breeders sell them at a cheaper rate and they go to some sort of use. So guys in Ontario, they buy ball pythons for like $3 that didn't live, and they feed their yellowtail caribos and different dravicons and stuff like that. So it puts the animal to use because that breeder's not going to sell them because they're looking for high-end morphs versus the lower-end stuff. So
this is true.
Just makes a lot of sense to put it to use to something else.
Yeah, as Ashley said in the comments, circle of life. So.
Yeah, it's true. You know, I feel awful about, you know, putting an animal in a garbage can. Like, that doesn't make me feel good at all. You know, whether pests of like natural cause or not, I don't feel good about doing that. I'm also a renter, so I'm pretty sure it's illegal to bury dead animals in your backyard where I live. Like, there's an actual law against it. So like, what am I supposed to do? Like, really?
Yeah. Feed them off.
I don't want to put something in a garbage can, man. That makes me feel like a shitty person. But if it died from like being sick, then like, sorry, you're going in the dumpster.
Yeah, because you just don't want to take that risk of that animal passing off some sort of pathogen or virus to something else. So,
well, like my cats will catch mice in my house because like my house is like 5 billion years old, and the kids are like, "Can we feed it to the snake?" No, no. I don't even like letting my cats eat them. If I catch them with a mouse, then I will dispatch that mouse, and that I don't feel bad about throwing in the garbage. Man.
Well, you don't know what those mice have been eating. It could be some sort of chemicals or
some. I live across the street from an agricultural college, you know, and from an auction mart. Who knows what's going down on the ground? And like, I'm in the center of a farming community. Like, my allergies are awful because of crops, you know, surrounding me. So who knows what they're putting on those crops, what those mice are eating. I don't want to poison my cat or my reptiles with it.
Yeah. It's responsible.
A lot of people don't understand why that's such an important thing not to do when they're getting into reptiles, why you don't go catch bugs out in the wild and stuff like that.
Mice and stuff. And also when people are buying stuff from people who breed these, you know what's generally going into those animals for nutrition wise. So that way, you know, you're getting a better nutritional content out of your feeder versus something that you find outside and it could be eating some dead animal, some carrion or something. It's going to transfer that back to your feeder.
Yeah,
so it's better to spend that little extra money and get something that you know is going to be a quality feeder and you're not going to have trouble with.
Yeah.
But I've also bought wild-caught feeder lizards to try to feed to my snakes. I don't know what they're eating, but I gut loaded them before I tried feeding. So
you gotta do what you gotta do. You were trying to get snakes to eat.
Yeah, some of those obscure species that no one really knows what they're eating in the wild. They just seen pictures and, hey, that looks cool. I've talked to some herpetologists and they're like, yeah, we haven't seen hatchlings in the wild. We've seen juvies and adults, and that's about it.
So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Which reptile expos do you guys go to over in Alberta? Was it WCRE?
Yeah, I go to the Calgary show. I'm part of the Alberta Reptile Amphibian Society, so I help volunteer at the show. I'm also vice president, so I help organize it too. Okay. So I go to the Calgary show, the WCRE, and that's about the only ones that I go to currently. I do want to go to some of the BC shows, which would be cool to see all the stuff that people in BC have, because there's some cool breeders out there too. So,
yeah. For me, Calgary Reptile Expo is probably my favorite expo that I go to. It's all the same breeders you see at all the other expos, but I just feel like there's more of a selection there. Okay. Whether it's animals or just like people selling their like art and stuff like that, I just seem to enjoy the Calgary show more. WCRE is always fantastic to go to. They have a huge selection of animals. They got some big sponsors, so they can bring in some big names and stuff like that.
Lots of cool breeders too, like Dutch Dragon imports and stuff. That you don't see at the Calgary or Edmonton shows.
Yeah, which is nice. So they can get some of the bigger people in there, which is always awesome to see. Like Billy from Mutation Creation was there last year. I've been to the Edmonton show once. I absolutely hated it with every fiber of my being, and I was actually really pissed off that I wasted the 2 hours each way driving up there and the hour at the show. Wow. But they have a new, they've been canceled for this year, but they have gotten a new venue, which I am absolutely willing to go and check it out, give them another chance. I just found the other place was just so dark and dingy and overcrowded that it was just like 10 out of 10, a bad time, too many people. Like, I had to pop an Ativan to like walk to my table and pick up this animal that I've prepaid for, kind of thing. It was not an enjoyable experience when you go there to like check out vendors and stuff like that. Just way too overcrowded. But they're getting a bigger venue, so I would absolutely check it out again and see if that was just the issue for me.
Mm-hmm. I heard they got a new venue.
Yeah.
So WCRE was going to do a Lethbridge show this year. No, Medicine Hat, not Lethbridge. Sorry. Yeah. But I guess like all the WCRE stuff is still a possibility to happen. Yeah. So I hope we get an expo this summer. Like I really do. And WCRE is usually at the end of August. So. I'm
hoping Toronto has their CRBE too in September. Hopefully things are good by then. I think everybody's just going to go crazy as soon as these expos open up.
Absolutely.
Huge amounts of people.
I go to CRBE at some point because I see videos and it's huge.
I'd love to go there. I am more than willing to volunteer for vendor. I don't know any vendors out there really though. Steve, get a table.
Oh, you'd love it. It's a great weekend. Everybody gets along. They talk, go for dinner. It's a great time.
I've seen lots of videos of it on YouTube, like Dave Kaufman's. I think Steve Rempel also did one. Like there's a billion of them that you can watch, but like, oh my god, one day that's definitely like a bucket list show. Besides, that's like the Canadian bucket list show. American.
Well, there's lots of breeders out in Ontario, so there's a lot more people that go to that expo than there is in Western Canada.
Well, and I have a lot of Americans on my Facebook that seem to travel to it. I'm not sure if that's to vend or just to attend the show,
mostly to attend, yeah.
But obviously, if it's a good enough show to bring in people from another country, I want to go.
You should check it out.
I'm dying to go to Ham. Like,
I see videos and it's just like, oh, that's so cheap. And then because they have way different laws than we do here, and there's just like so many cool things. Yeah, it's just I see on the Facebook group for ham, people have stuff available for ham, and it's just like, I don't even know what that is, but it looks cool.
Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah, ham's definitely a bucket list one for sure.
Oh yeah.
So would you guys can kind of help out with that situation a little bit. If people purchase items from the ham show, Tinley, stuff like that, you guys can have it shipped back into Canada.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's what we do, right? That's all we do. We'll set it up, and the seller will hold on to it, and then we'll arrange to pick up the animals when it comes time to it. Actually, no, the ham happens. We'll take the animals right then because we ship a few days after ham.
Yeah. So. People can figure out what they want and stuff like that. All the breeders put it in a giant pile and it gets sent to you. I'm sure that's not exactly how it works. I'm just like envisioning this mountain of like deli cups full of ham.
That's basically what it is. A lot of there's like 8, 9, 10 huge boxes in the truck that we load up and just full with animals.
So what happens when you guys get these big imports in from countries like Europe and Asia and stuff? So like they come from the airport, they land at your facility or wherever you do your stuff. What happens next?
So first, when they land in Toronto Airport. We clear customs. And once we do that, we'll bring it back to our office, and then it's just 2 days full of unpacking, sorting, creating the shipping labels and shipments for most of these animals to get reshipped because we want them out right away, right? For their health and safety and everything, comfort and all that.
Transit is the best.
Yeah, so we're on the clock as soon as they leave Europe. Basically, time is of the essence. So we work nonstop, 48 hours, and then we start communication with all the Canadian importers involved, so they're aware of what their delivery date is, and they're just walking through the whole process. Well, you're aware.
Yeah, I sort of. When you guys are clearing customs with the animals, do the customs agents have to go through every single animal, or is it just kind of like, yeah, okay? Yeah.
So it used to be, okay, whatever. It used to be like that, but last year there was this mandate from Ottawa that all these animals had to be inspected. I guess because a lot of smuggling was going on, because customs agents weren't inspecting anything. So Ottawa mandated for Canada customs agents, and what happened was it was causing 8 hours worth of inspection. So we'd go down to Toronto, and they'd say, okay, we're going to inspect this for 8 hours. And we'd have to go all the way back to the office and come back 2 a.m., 1 a.m. to pick them up, or even the next morning. Because it took that long. They went through everything. They made notes of everything. We can even see their notes. But it's done now. They did that for 5 months. It was pretty harsh and pretty long, and it was really annoying. But it's back to being pretty easy again.
Well, and you guys obviously probably built pretty good relationships with them as well.
Yeah, and well, we work with Environment Canada as well a lot because they seize a lot of fish and sometimes even reptiles too, and we're their go-to for shipping these animals to where they're supposed to be in zoos and museums and stuff like that. While the court cases are pending. Sorry?
Opposed to just euthanizing them because they're where they shouldn't be.
Exactly. So
it's really good that they can use you to find proper placement for these animals.
Yeah, there was these fish of oh my goodness, the species is I'm drawing a blank on. Ashley, if you're seeing this, post the species. But the species of fish that were actually CITES 1, and there was no permits that came with them, and they used us to ship it to.
Why is this happening?
Back to.
You're lagging again, Sam.
Oh, yeah, super hard. You're gonna have to go over that again.
Yeah, but basically, Environment Canada had these amazing setups at their location for the fish, all these tanks, and it was pretty arowana. That's what it is. Thank you, Ashley. Arowana species. But,
those are expensive fish.
They are expensive. I was just going to mention. Yeah, it was like 40,000. Yeah.
They're like get up to like fucking over 10 feet or something, I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no.
Marijuana is what you see in Chinese food restaurants in the fish tanks.
Yeah. So yeah, we work with Environment Canada, and usually when I import, my name's on it, so they leave me alone. They know we're legit, and when we need their help with Canadian CITES paperwork, they email us right away if I have a question or if something happens. You know, they're really good to us. Yeah.
Oh, just enough
Kids are
marijuana.
trying to come in.
Yeah, so Canada's doing really well right now. Like the amount of shipments that's happening right now, it's just unreal. Canadians are doing so well. They're keeping busy with selling their animals, updating their websites, and
Well, that's really good, especially for a lot of these people, like reptile businesses that are small businesses, because that means they're still getting by compared. I know a lot of people are missing out on expos because they make a bunch of money there because the public comes in, buys a bunch of animal supplies or whatever they need. So they usually make a bunch of money there so that they can buy feeders or pay for whatever their overhead costs are for however long how much they make and whatever. So that's good. At least people are still buying in small businesses and stuff like that, because that way everybody still can stay afloat. Because I know
exactly.
A lot of people's concerns were like, oh, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to start slowing down and stuff like that? And I know Got Reptiles here in town, they've been selling out of feeders every week. They can't keep up with bug orders and stuff like that. They've been bringing other supplies in, and it just sells out right away.
Wow.
So it's been going pretty good for everybody so far. Maybe people are just stocking up on supplies because they have the fear that they're not going to be able to get these supplies later on. But like a lot of feeders and stuff like that, they're all considered essential because they're farms, and the government realizes people's animals got to eat anyways.
Yeah, I haven't had an interruption with any of my feeders at all, luckily, so I'm pretty thankful for that.
For sure.
I haven't had any interruption either, so I've been happy.
Reptiles as usual for me. All right, Sam, where can we find you online when you're not frozen? Frozen again.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tellus is going to get the gears again. Oh, this is worse.
Yeah, this is awful. I keep thinking my neighbors have like a fire going out of control because there's just like billowing smoke everywhere. Oh, are we back?
I think we're back.
Oh,
okay, that's weird. Okay. That was weird. Where can we find you, Sam, online?
Yeah, so email is definitely the best. I'm super quick on email. Orders at reptileexpress.com, but you can also reach us through Instagram and Facebook, the same name, Reptile Express.
Awesome.
Reptile Express International.
Yeah, on Facebook, you're right. It's Reptile Express International.
I was going to say, yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for going over what's currently going on with shipping animals in Canada right now.
Yeah,
I think this episode might alleviate some stress for a lot of people. Let some breeders know that it's okay. We can still do stuff. Small breeders, reach out to Sam at Reptile Express. He can send you. You have like little kit thingies, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like everything you need. He'll mail it out to you. You assemble it, put your animals in it. He takes care of it all. So he really simplifies everything for you. So don't be afraid to use them if you're the small guy. What?
And just read the instructions.
Yes.
I see Brandon like having an aneurysm over there in the corner.
Read the instructions. We all learned how to read in school.
Yes. Please turn us all on and read the instructions, please.
Appropriate heat pack suggestions.
Yeah.
And use
like if you have questions, don't be afraid to just message Sam. He's always answered all my questions without, belittling me or anything like that.
There's no stupid questions. Like I've been in your position before, so I get it. It's confusing. So.
Yeah. So
new scary experience. But I have zero complaints whatsoever.
You're the best. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah,
I'm okay at best.
Too, so
You're the best too.
I don't even know how many packages of animals I've gotten shipped over the years now.
That's amazing.
Count.
I wonder how many of our boxes are out there in Canada. That's what I'm curious.
That's a good question because I know I got.
Do you know how
4 or 5
many?
here.
Do you know how many like orders you've done like total? Probably not off the top of your head, but
I mean, it's just, oh man, I don't even know.
how many digits do you think are in it?
Like shipments?
Yeah.
Wow. Let's
Probably in
see.
the thousands.
Let's see. I think about 500 a month, and then multiply that by.
9 years, I think you said. He froze again.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, how many? 500 a month times how many years?
500 times 12, and then times that by 9.
Jeez, what's the number, Brandon?
All right. 54,000. That's a lot.
Wow.
Keep it up, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
54,000 orders estimated.
And that's not just single individual animals either. That's a lot of animals.
Yeah, that's
a
a
lot of
great amount of animals.
And that's millions and millions of dollars worth of animals.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's good for the economy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Keep the economy going, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Ship your reptiles, but not. Oh, that's the American company.
Yeah.
I just meant
It's such a good name, though. Yeah.
Reptile Express, not Reptiles Express, because that's the
That's
American.
also the American.
Yeah, they copied our name a few months after. It's unreal.
Oh, that's
Didn't
unfortunate.
Wasn't there a big, huge issue with that?
Yeah, there's a big issue, and because they not only copied our, we figured, okay, they're just going to copy the name a little bit, but no, he ended up copying several other items too. And it's just like, if you see the Canadian version of their new service, they have the same last 4 digits as our telephone number.
What?
Yeah, and they have copied our deli cup combinations per kit. They copied and pasted that. And they are using the 40 and 60-hour combinations that they're not doing on the American website. So it's clearly copying our Canadian website.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and just that single letter people just are Reptiles Express because they're probably just so used to saying reptiles as a plural and they just look it up.
Exactly. So what we do now at the American shows, we have a sign up that says we're in no way affiliated with Reptiles Express. We're a totally different
I've seen that.
company.
Yeah, I've seen the post about that because when they came out, I know you guys made a post about that, like, hey, we're not affiliated with these guys, so on and so forth.
Yeah, we don't like the way they handle business. We work with Reptiles to You. They're our American partner. We work. Debbie's amazing, and Ship Your Reptiles. We have nothing bad to say about them. I love Ship Your Reptiles. We work really well together. Very professional, but Reptiles Express, they're just, the way they do business is shady. It's not cool the way they do it, and they copy everything. I mean, I've been told that guy even copied the terms of service page of Ship Your Reptiles and put it on his page word for word. Like,
wow,
just a copycat in every way. Just do something original on your end. Sometimes that would be nice.
Yeah. Especially you create your own name.
Yeah.
That's
Whatever.
the first step.
We're like, the name of this podcast is so close to another one.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Herpetoculture Podcast.
Justin, Jacob, both great guys that we talk to them sometimes too.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to have them on an episode.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I saw Dan Haas popped into the chat for a little while. He's from Reptile and Chill Podcast over in the UK.
Yeah, no, I love watching you guys' podcasts. Even 2-3 hour podcasts.
They're nice when we don't have technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I bet you they're not too bad to listen to while you're packing those big orders.
Yeah, seriously.
Just make a playlist of all our 3-hour episodes while you're up all night taking care of imports.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was great having you on today. Really
Thanks so much for having
appreciate
me.
all the information that you shared with us.
Thank you.
Letting us know that it's shipping as usual.
Yes, for sure. I appreciate it, and keep up with what you're doing. This is a great idea. The podcast thing is a really good idea, and you guys have grown in such a short amount of time. I love the new platform. Just keep it up. It's amazing.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We really appreciate the feedback.
Absolutely.
We've been working on our audio quality because I know at first it kind of sucked, but it takes money and microphones are expensive.
This butt plug was $200.
That thing is huge.
Yeah. They're way smaller than our normal recording mics, but because we're doing these all on the computer and stuff, we needed USB mics.
Oh, okay.
Instead of our fancy stuff.
Yeah, we have a soundboard with some other XLR.
We don't know how to use it.
That's so cool, though.
But yeah, we're doing what we can, and especially because with all the virus stuff, we don't want to spread COVID or elevate the risk of transmission or getting it and stuff. So we're doing
I was really, really sick for probably about a month, and I haven't seen Brandon since before that.
Yeah, because usually we'd go to Kiana's house, and we built her room that she's in now is into a studio for recording, so that sound acoustics were a little bit better.
Yeah,
did a bunch of soundproofing and a bunch of stuff like that, so recording sounded better than what it.
That's exciting.
Did. Yeah, so
it's been a big project.
It's not
cost
just
more money to start up than I ever anticipated.
Yeah, a lot of people just hook up microphones and start, but we wanted to have a nice sound quality so it didn't sound like crap like some of the other podcasts we listened to. So we wanted some quality there.
If you listen to episode 0 compared to even this one, huge difference.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. Even though this is like the 3rd mic I've used.
Yeah. No, you've come a long way. It's a lot better. Easier to watch these two before. I think before you needed some link or download something.
Yeah, we were doing Skype interviews for a while, and it worked, but it just wasn't
ideal.
Yeah. And then so Brandon was talking to a couple other podcasters, and I think it was the Herpetoculture Podcast that I don't remember who it was. One of the other reptile podcasts put us on.
It was the reptile
StreamYard.
And also Dan. Actually, I was talking to Dan about it because I know they do all their Wednesday episodes live stream too. So I was like, "Hey, what do you guys use for the live streams?" And they told us about StreamYard as the platform. And it's been working really well for us so far.
Yeah, I love this.
No, you guys are the best. Keep it up. And all the comments that I'm seeing on the right, thank you so much for the kind words, everybody. There's some awesome words there.
You're famous in those comments.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Awesome,
guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Awesome.
Take care.
Bye. And for everybody that's listening still, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at chp.podcast. Email us at chp.podcast@gmail.com. If you have people that you want us to talk to or have other ideas, you can send us those. You can message us on Facebook or Instagram. Check out our YouTube channel because we've been uploading our live streams to YouTube, so you can check those out
Slowly.
as well.
We're getting there.
We're also doing our regular audio episodes every Saturday as well. So currently, since we're both in quarantine, we've been doing a lot of live streams, like we did 2 this week. So kind of trying to stay busy and provides everybody with content and more information. So I hope you guys are enjoying the content, and
don't forget to grab Life by the Hemipenes and pew pew finger guns.
have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Bye.